Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Just to follow on again on the individual topic of stand your ground, Sean had actually asked two questions, one about virtual courts and who's in control of courts, and then the second aspect was stand your ground. Stand your ground. What is your ground? In Trinidad and Tobago, where we have a very large squatting community, a very large HDC community, take San Fernando West, 25,000 registered people to vote, 11,500 live in HDC communities, and 3,500 live in squatting. So what's your ground? Will there be any quality of treatment? Is your neighbor's yard that you now claimed for 2 years your yard or his yard? Where your children play in a community center in an area and you perceive threat, where we have an issue of gang violence, where there is a perceived inequality amongst our people in the first place. You must remember in the United States of America, things like property tax identify every single piece of land. It's owned, it's paid for, it's measured. There are rights and covenants. You don't cut your grass, the city intervenes and does it for you and you pay for it. But what is your ground in Trinidad and Tobago? How do you make sure that it isn't a law for the one aspect of our society when all are crying out for it? The leader of the opposition has plainly said that we must see the policy behind this, and that our position as to whether we stand for or against this law is to be examined reasonably dependent upon the policy and the prescription. Of course, we take note that there are entities yet to be formed to have consultation, etc. But I think we have to start at the very basic principles as the leader of the opposition put forward and Mr. Scotland, senior counsel, put forward on the parameters of the law and the facts. What is defense? How is your common law on self-defense going to be amended going forward? What about people in custody now? Will there be a revision? We do know the law speaks to things being prospective unless it's specifically said to be retrospective, and there's certain terms and conditions. We have saved law constitutionally, Section 6 of the Constitution. We have the Offences Against the Persons Act, which is again a statutory provision. So it is not a straightforward, simple position where on one hand you're saying to the population, empty the matic, empty the clip, stand your ground. We as an opposition must look at all of the parameters and say, well, what is your ground? Where are you going to defend? Who are you defending? As the leader of the opposition put forward, in a public space, in your car, in positions. But remember, the United States is also tied to a very seriously entrenched and ancient provision, I should say old, of their constitutional amended version of the right to carry arms and to bear arms. So it is an ecosystem that this law must be looked at. We're very eager to see what is coming. We stand for what is right in terms of the sentiment of a society, but it must be applied proportionately.